Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Does it look okay?
This one's called Live Forever. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That was cool. So I'm just in it from the beginning, and yeah, I'm hearing like the crickets and the sounds, and it sounds like I'm walking through a forest. So I'm kind of walking through this forest. I don't really know why I'm walking through a forest, but I'm walking through a forest, and yeah, then I start to hear these like fighter jets or some sort of like flying vehicles like going past my like head. So I'm like, okay, something's going on, you know, because I'm like walking through this forest and there's like these crazy fighter jet type of things like flying overhead. And then I hear this bomb and I'm like, oh crap, okay, there's like a war going on. and I'm like, what am I doing in a forest while a war is going on? And I start hearing these dogs barking, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of the forest, I'm like onto the street, and these like dogs are barking at me. And then I start to hear more like jets going overhead and like more bombs, or you know. And now there's like this war going on, and like now I'm like shooting, you know, I'm against these bad guys or whatever, and then I'm playing for the good team, obviously. And then I just start like, you know, shooting these like fighter jets down, and then yeah, I shoot like one of them down, and then that's like the last of them. And then after that, like, I don't know if I was supposed to use this type of machine, and so I just kind of like hop out real quick and then start like walking away, hoping like nobody saw me that I was like a part of it or whatever. And then yeah, I don't know, I just start walking back towards the forest.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
So you got the exact same thing, right?
Well, it was actually similar, but then I changed it because I didn't want to be in a scary situation, so then it was somebody else. Well, so first when it started, it sounded actually like the afternoon or day on like the beach, and it sounded like water crashing at first, so I was just like imagining like walking on the beach. And then when I heard the plane, I actually liked the first plane because it reminded me of when I was little, when you're like sleeping like on like a weekend and like people are outside like cutting the grass and you hear like a plane and you know it's like summer after school. But then it started sounding like night, so I was like, oh, now it sounds like night and like crickets and like a person's in a forest. So then I started kind of imagining it similar, like a person like in the war and all that stuff. But I was like, oh, well, I'm not like in the war. So then I was listening to all of that. It's like similar, like someone was like going through the forest and there were like fighter jets and they were like running and hiding. And then there were dogs, so then I thought they were safe on the street. But then when I heard the music, I was like, but that music doesn't make sense. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe this is like a person playing like a video game and someone's playing like Call of Duty, or I don't know what the games are called. So then I was like, oh, this must be a person like playing a game and they're like shooting and they're running through like the forest and they're trying to like beat the level and all the planes are coming and then they're shooting at it and then like the game is over. And that's what I did. My shorter than yours.
I thought that was, yeah, it's funny. You can definitely tell where like you started to get scared and then you're like, okay, I'm taking myself out of this, now I'm watching somebody.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that I decided like to take myself out of the situation because it sounded too stressful to put myself in it. And maybe like I will put myself in it, but I have a lot of dreams where like I'm saving the world all the time. Like all the time there's people chasing after me with guns and I'm like taking the gun and like beating everyone. Like most of my dreams are like that. So now I'm kind of just like, I just want to like relax when I listen to things. So yeah, I took myself out of it this time because in my dreams I can't. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and you were like more willing to play in it where I just didn't want to.
Yeah, hearing an Audiojack was cool. It was just kind of, you know, I've never done anything like that where I just, you know, my eyes are closed and I'm just imagining something just based off of, you know, what I hear. Because all the time I'm looking at things, you know, and you can kind of imagine things based off of maybe what you're looking at or what you're reading, but never just hearing. So it was really cool to kind of just put yourself in that environment, you know, and just kind of let the sounds kind of guide what you kind of are imagining visually.
I like doing the Audiojack too. What I like about it is how you can do it with a friend and like talk to someone. I like to have like really deep conversations about what people's point of views of art and experience. So this is like a really good way to do that. And another thing I'm excited to do is actually like my grandma has Alzheimer's. So when I go back and visit her, I want to try doing it and see if maybe like she'll talk or say something more again. Like sometimes she talks, but she doesn't really talk anymore. So it'd be cool to see if she can have a conversation like again. So that's something I'm excited about too.
Would you use this one with your grandma? Or would you probably try a different one?
I would do a different one. Probably like like a happy one. I think one I'd like to
Sunday
do with myself
morning.
is like a relaxing one because I like to relax and find the relaxing parts of my brain. So yeah, my grandma would be like a Sunday morning, something with music maybe where I could see her starting to sing in something if there was like a song.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's what I would do with her.
I could see this being a good tool for, writers or storytellers that might get like writer's block, as we all do from time to time. As creative people, you kind of like just can go put yourself in another world for a little bit, and it kind of like re-sparks your creativity. That's cool.
Nice. Any final thoughts you guys want to share, or are you guys good? Cool.
Yeah.
Audiojack is awesome.